This workshop has been put together to support local governments to compile data that are relevant for them for their medium-term plans and therefore their annual progress reports, which is a requirement from the National Development Planning Commission. So we have been working with a number of institutions, the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, the National Development Planning Commission, the Environmental Protection Agency, and of course the Ghana Statistical Service, with technical and financial support from UNDP, GIZ, and the Commonwealth Local Government Forum. Now, this activity has been put together following a realization that year in, year out, many district assemblies have challenges with data in their annual progress reports, which they are required to submit to the National Development Planning Commission. And following some exercises we did and identified that most of these data are actually data from administrative sources, which are generated in the districts. Yet no one consciously put these data together to provide them the kind of insights that are needed into their annual progress reports, and that will feed into their medium-term plans. And so we put this project together to train the districts and support them to compile data that will feed into this.
The necessity for the training is based on the fact that we realize that a lot of the MMDAs are implementing actions and solutions that need to be backed by very detailed and scientific analysis. And oftentimes their annual reporting and planning relies heavily on data. And data is very, very important in terms of planning and how we can allocate resources in the right places that resources are needed for the development of every district. So we thought it was very important to build the capacities of the MMDAs and to train them and to equip them with the right skills and tools to be able to collect data, administrative data.
Production and use of administrative data is in its very early stages. It is pretty much nascent. And what that means is that it presents us with two opportunities. One, as statisticians at different levels, there's this new opening for us to make ourselves more relevant. And that is exactly what we are doing. The second outcome that it presents to us is the potential biases and the need for harmonization across different data sources.
The coming in of the SDGs actually brought about Ghana conducting a national assessment to be able to determine the data needs of these agendas. And it was realized that about 57% of the data required to monitor, especially the SDG agenda, was actually going to be gotten from administrative source. And for that matter, GSS thought it wise to collaborate with other stakeholders who are not directly into data production, but as a result of their daily routine activities, some data is generated.
The key staff who are being taken through this training program are the regional economic planning officers, the regional budget analysts, the regional statisticians, and the regional Environmental Protection Agency staff. These staff are being trained as trainer of trainers to enable the districts or the municipal assemblies, metropolitan assemblies and district assemblies build administrative data. So the objective of the training workshop is to strengthen the capacity of these staff that are being trained to be able to build data which can inform development planning and the preparation of annual progress reports by the municipal, metropolitan and district assemblies.
And basically we have developed a data collection template, a template that has over 100 indicators cutting across different topics, I think 15 or 16 different topics: health, education, agriculture, water, sanitation, budgets, and among others. And all these data are data that already exist in the district, not new data that they are going to be collecting. These are data that are already being compiled. But you can better understand the journey ahead of you if you understand the past. So helping them construct the past is very important for us. So the template is designed for them to collect data from 2015 through to 2021. That way you can better understand the performance on those indicators over the last 5-6 years, and that helps you in the next planning cycle, especially for 2023.
The key thing for planning is for us to have credible data. And I said yesterday that what is the point of planning if at the end of the day it doesn't address the issues of people who are vulnerable? And vulnerability is in every sector of life. And so for us we need to do planning and budgeting properly. We must know who is vulnerable, where they are located, and what is making them vulnerable.
The data we collect is not very much beneficial like we want. Especially sometimes you go to an institution, you want data for certain activities. You realize that there are shortfalls, a lot of loopholes. Sometimes you get the data, but you are not able to use it for the purpose that you want to use. Now that we are coming out with a common template, I think it's going to help.
As part of our mandate to ensure that local level data is compiled to feed into policy at that level, GSS is donating 1 laptop each to each district statistical department. Each of the 101 districts that are participating in this initial phase would have a laptop each to aid the data compilation. And it's our expectation that we'll be extending laptops to the remaining 160 districts when we move into a second phase where we'll be training the rest of the district.
I'm happy to be part of this program, as I've had the opportunity to be taken through a lot of things that are very enlightening to me. For it being a trainer of trainers program, I'm happy that the officers at the district assemblies will have an opportunity to develop their own database, which will be very useful for them in making decisions, which will at the end of the day reduce some of the errors and then make them more confident in making some of the decisions that they do at the local level.
This relationship that Ghana Statistical Service is building with the district statisticians is a long-term relationship. It is not a short-term relationship. We are creating this environment for them so that they're going to achieve the objective that we had 3 years ago. A district statistical bulletin that comes out periodically.
This workshop that we have attended, for me, the most important thing that I am taking away is the administrative data that we have and we are not using. For instance, we have a lot of data that if we are using it, we will not be depending so much solely on the censuses and the surveys that are always carried out.
This type of program is a form of training that they go to also turn out to become trainers of the men in the field. Now these people who have come to learn so much to understand the issues and to collect data administratively to feed into the projects and to report.
District statistical officers have been posted to a district, but when you talk to them, they claim that they have nothing to do. So now with the advent of this job, they are going to have a lot of things to do, because you need to visit the key institutions in the district to ensure that you have been able to take this data and then put them onto the templates. Then after that, they will send it to the regions, and then we also work on it and then send it to the head office.
The workshop really has been of help, especially the resource persons too are very equipped and very versed in their subject areas, and hoping that going to our various districts will impart this knowledge to them so that proper budgeting will be done, realistic and actual budgets at their levels to address the needs and concerns of the people, so that at least we will see at least changes in subsequent years.